Hello students, I welcome you all to my Swayam course titled Comics and Graphic Novels in Indian Context. We are into the week 6 of our course, which is titled as Graphical Biographies. In this week, we have already done graphical biographies of Mahatma Gandhi, and now we will be doing a comparative study of Bhimrao Ambedkar's life through Amar Chitrikatha's comic representation of Ambedkar, as well as through the graphic novel Bhimayana, Incidents in the Life of Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. So most of you must be thinking that because we have already studied this graphic novel Bhimayana, why are we doing it again? So one of the reasons that we are doing this graphic novel again is that earlier we were looking at Bhimrao Ambedkar's representation through indigenous folk art, that is Gond art, and now here we are going to see how his iconography, how his representation, how the image of Ambedkar shifts when it moves from one kind of comic to another kind of comic. What are the differences in illustration, what are the differences in sketches, that or what is the difference in the plot also when we tend to narrate the same identity in more than one comic form. How does the representation radically differ from one form of comics to another form of illustrated sequential art form. So first of all, before looking at the differences themselves, I would like to first, because most of you may have read about Ambedkar in school, and very famously, he is revered, he is talked about in terms of the founding father of Indian Constitution, but Ambedkar was much more than that. Undoubtedly, he has contributed, he has given a significant contribution in the drafting of Indian Constitution, and where he laid emphasis on the liberty, fraternity, equality, and notions of secularism, notions of freedom, notions of no discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, creed, color, ethnicity, or whatsoever. So all these things, Ambedkar has played a great role in the framing of Indian Constitution. But apart from that, what happens is that Ambedkar was also a visionary, in the sense Ambedkar was also a very good educationist, a very good teacher. He was also a social reformer, he was also an activist, and very well read, very thorough in what he was arguing. So beginning with the introduction to Bhimrao Ambedkar, most of you would think that, most of you would assume that why am I talking about, why I'm giving this basics about Bhimrao Ambedkar. But it is this basic reading of Ambedkar which is found in facts, which is found in literary texts, and which is drawn from his literary biographies and autobiographies, that these comic books borrow from. And this borrowing, how is it affected, how does it deviate, how does it shift from the actual narration, from the original narration, when it is moved to, when it is translated to the visual form, what is the visual politics that the illustration seem to does in kind of representing the iconography of Bhimrao Ambedkar. So this very basic reading, the very basic essential knowledge about Ambedkar that you would read in school becomes then significant, very important in trying to see how the narrative has deviated and why it has deviated. Because the comic books, the graphic novels, as I have repeatedly said, they are also catering to a particular set of audience. So comic books are actually meant for children, and Amar Chitrikatha was actually meant for children. And so it was important for Anant Pai to simplify the facts as per the understanding of those small children, so that they can understand what was the injustice, what were the struggles that Ambedkar went on. And on the contrary, when we deal with Bhimayana obviously it is not meant for children's reading, but it requires some sort of intellectual maturity to kind of infer those visuals, to infer those indigenous art form, which is Gond art, to be able to see through the images, because the images are in no way kind of an illustration meant for the understanding of children or anybody. It is very difficult for somebody to read the graphic novel novel, which is basically formed through Gondat, if they don't have insight into some sort of visual studies or art forms, so it will be very difficult to infer even the face of Ambedkar, which is drawn in the Digna pattern, that is the dotted pattern, if they are not familiar with the Gondat themselves. So, born to a Dalit family in 1891, Mhow region of Madhya Pradesh in India, Bhim Rao Ambedkar had to face discrimination at a very early age in life. He earned his BA degree from Elphinstone College in Mumbai, Master's degree in Political Science from Columbia University, and a PhD from University of London. So, as you see, he was a very well-read person, doing his all the college degrees from very renowned and prestigious colleges and universities from India and abroad. Ambedkar focused on defending and advancing Dalit rights in his interventions and advocacy. This led to his many conflicts with the Indian National Congress. He had established himself as the leading Dalit leader by the time of the Round Table conferences in the early 1930s. He passionately maintained that the backward classes needed their own constituency to become a strong political interest group. However, M.K. Gandhi believed that this would split the Hindu community, so he embarked on a death-defying fast to undo the British government's recognition of Ambedkar's demands. Under the terms of the Pune Pact of 1932, Ambedkar was forced to concede and give up separate electorates in return for reserved seats in provincial assemblies. So this is a very brief background about Ambedkar, that he was born in Madhya Pradesh to a Dalit family, then very well educated, and then went on to fight for Dalit rights. And he also had a brief tussle with Mahatma Gandhi because he wanted a separate constituency. He wanted a separate constituency for the Dalits, but Gandhi thought that this will lead to divisional politics, this will lead to politics of, this will all the more, the Britishers are all the more going to capitalize on this very essence of divide and rule. If Dalits go on to make their own constituency, then obviously later on it will lead to some sort of bigger struggle between Dalits and not Dalits, and Gandhi had his own reasons, so had Ambedkar, so which led to kind of a struggle, a tussle, a kind of rift between Gandhi and Ambedkar, where Gandhi sat on a fast because Ambedkar was non-compromising. He was not ready to compromise with the fact that he would give up on the demand of requiring a separate constituency for Dalits. But Gandhi thought, as I said, it is not right, it is improper, and it will all the more lead to divisional kind of politics between the communities. So he sat on a fast, so that Ambedkar gives up on his demand, and Ambedkar then very furiously and angrily he gives up on the demand, saying that fasting, now Mahatma Gandhi has started to use fasting, his way of fasting, as a kind of blackmailing, even for the issues and topics, even on the issues that are of general community welfare. With the motto, I quote, "Educate, agitate, organize," unquote. He established the Bahishkrit Hitkarani Sabha to promote the social welfare of the depressed classes. In what is known as Mahad Satyagrah, which is very famous, in 1920 and very well known also, in 1927, Ambedkar spearheaded a historic demonstration that broke centuries-old oppressiveness, social and physical conventions when a sizable contingent of Dalit drank water from a public tank. He arranged for the Manusmriti to be burned in public at the same location a few months later of the various texts that imposed harsh social and legal restrictions on the untouchables. This ancient Hindu law book was the most well known. Ambedkar played a pivotal role in the process of writing India's constitution. In adding to serving on other significant committees, he chaired the drafting committee, the Assembly's most important committee. After spending years studying Buddhism, Ambedkar and 365,000 of his supporters converted to the faith in 1956. Many people refer to Ambedkar's reimagining of Buddhism in terms of social justice as Neo-Buddhism, Navayana, or Dalit Buddhist movement. Now we come to Amar Chitrakatha's book, comic book in particular, where we see what kind of representation is drawn out for Ambedkar. So the historical depictions of Amar Chitrakatha, how the story emphasizes some elements while downplaying others, are a recurring theme in the account. ACK aims to place Ambedkar and his ideas on the path of nationalism, modernism, and enlightenment within this framework. In fact, by positioning Ambedkar as a pedagogic authority, Amar Chitrakatha seeks to homogenize the claims of the upper caste bourgeois that reservation based on caste would degrade idealism, hamper the spirit of independence, and make the individual soft. Examining Ambedkar as an allegory of the present times, this series reiterates the nation as a homogeneous entity and negates the historical differences of caste that might justify the demand for a separate electorate as happened in 1932. So, Amar Chitrakatha, if you would like to read, or if you would want your children to read, young children to read Amar Chitrakatha today, so the representation of Ambedkar in this book will seem outdated, because the kind of claims it makes, because when it was produced, probably the air, the atmosphere, the belief of the people remained so, but now if you say so that casteism is something which is an old practice and is not prevalent in contemporary India, which is completely out of question, which is unacceptable at all, because when you go on to see the kind of crimes, when you see the kind of complaints, when you see the kind of injustice and discrimination happening against Dalits even today, if not in big towns, at least in smaller towns and cities that continue to exist even today, the evils of casteism, one would find Amar Chitrakatha to be completely outdated and I mean archaic, which talks about facts and issues that are not even real. So somebody would find it very challenging to be able to accept that fact, what Amar Chitrakatha is claiming, that casteism was a practice, discrimination against Dalits was a practice that was only prevalent in ancient India, and with progress, with education, with liberalism, these kind of practices have completely gone away. At best, Amar Chitrakatha version of Ambedkar can be described as a human being's ability to face difficult situation and emerge victorious. So, what Amar Chitrakatha is doing to Ambedkar is that the book is not highlighting his struggles, the book is not pointing out about the discrimination that he faced since childhood, the discrimination his parents were subjected to since childhood because he belonged to the Dalit community. But what Amar Chitrakatha is doing is that in order to hide the evils of casteism, as if trying to very conveniently place a veil on it, very conveniently trying to cover it so that children don't get to know that there is any such discrimination that exists. So Amar Chitrakatha kind of transforms the entire narrative of Ambedkar's struggle into a person, rather than showing the difficulties and discriminations and injustices faced by a Dalit person. What Amar Chitrakatha is doing is that projecting Ambedkar as a human being, as a heroic figure who has overcome all struggles, and thus he should be celebrated and thus he should be hero. But why, how and what were the struggles, why was he facing those struggles, are kind of very conveniently erased and wiped out from the narrative, so that the evils do not come in the forefront in the most ugliest form and children don't even get an access to it, that something like caste system, something like caste hierarchy exist in our society. So it is a kind of fabricated narrative, in the sense that the entire iconography of Ambedkar is being shifted from a Dalit person to somebody who has made his life successful, as somebody who has turned from rags to riches person, somebody who was very poor and now because of his hard work, of his talent, because of his hard work and talent, now they have become very popular, very iconic, and now have got a very decent lifestyle. But the entire baseline, the entire basis of this is that, why, from where does it all emerge, how was he treated, why was he treated in such a way, what he had to go through in order to overcome, how did he become hero, if you are saying so that he became a hero, but how did he become hero? Those are the questions that Amar Chitrakatha simply turns a blind eye. The comics thus overlook Ambedkar's identity of marginalized, discriminated individual and thus cherishes it as yet another battle fought against odds. The comics also highlights that caste-based oppression was a practice of the past pre-modernized society. Amar Chitrakatha has failed to highlight enough of these personal accounts of Ambedkar's life, the struggles of the student scholar in particular. So, as I said that, most of the difficulties, for example, drinking water from the same well, being treated as an outcast from the village, not being, facing discrimination in school, that he was made to sit separately, he was isolated from all other children who belong to upper caste communities. So, all these kind of details are wiped out, are not mentioned in the book, so as to not give children the children who are readers, the reading children, any idea about the evils of caste system that exists in the society they live in, that pervades in the society that they live in. Because of the caste system, which is something where the lower caste fight inside themselves, every external fight against it is typically framed as an extension of that. Because of the caste system, which is something where the lower caste fight inside themselves, every external fight against it is typically framed as an extension of that internal conflict, rather than as a socially subversive act, are led to believe that their inferiority is innate. Due to the fact that the caste system fosters the belief in inferiority of the lower caste, every external fight against it is typically framed as an extension of their internal conflict rather than a socially subversive act. Again, another aspect that this comic book wants to highlight about Ambedkar is that rather than speaking the truth out in complete black and white, rather than laying out the facts in reality, rather than laying out the facts in actuality, that it was the caste system, it was the hypocrisy of the upper communities that were mistreating Ambedkar because he was a Dalit. And so the kind of what comics does, what Amar Chitrakatha comic is doing is that rather than laying out the facts right, that it was actually the caste-based discrimination against Ambedkar which led to such sort of to his struggles, to making his life very difficult. What comic book is doing is, comic book is trying to show the entire journey of Ambedkar as some sort of internal conflict, trying to do some psychoanalysis, in the sense giving an impression to the children that he was going through some internal conflict and it is not the resultant of some external practices that are happening, evil practices, evilness of casteism that exists, that he is being he's subjected to such kind of inhumanity, such kind of discrimination, such kind of exploitation at every step of his life. But it is some sort of internal, some disturbance, some problems in his mind that he is unable to find solution of, that there are some troubles, there are some sort of issues which are being projected to children, that at every level what Amar Chitrakatha is doing is just trying to evade it out very clearly from the children, that any such thing like caste based prejudices existed in Ambedkar's life, and rather they are making Ambedkar, showing it to the children that all the problems existed due to some or the other reason, because he was poor, because it was some sort of mental struggles that he was going through, internal conflict. But they are just not saying that it was the evilness, the discrimination, the prejudice, the bias, the kind of exploitation that emerges from the hierarchies of caste system, which led to Ambedkar's struggle go completely, which actually made Ambedkar's struggle very difficult and readable. Ambedkar's hostility at Mahatma Gandhi and his Harijan Sevak Sangh, which in his words, I quote, kills the spirit of independence among the untouchables, unquote, is not highlighted by ACK. So in order to give a very good image, because Amar Chitrakarta thought that it would not be right to kind of show the rifts between the struggles between, as I discussed earlier, that in real life Ambedkar had too much problem with Mahatma Gandhi, but the comic books does not show any such kind of problem, because comic book had to reincarnate Gandhi, had to keep Gandhi as the father of the nation, and as a result of it, because Gandhi is father of the nation, Anant Pai thought that it would not be right to present such a struggle to the children, because they will be unable to understand the reasons of it, and it would create a different sort of image of Gandhi in the minds of children. So better not to explain it to them, or rather than omit out such episodes where there are certain hiccups, where there are certain painful memories attached to those very incidents. So those are very easily wiped out from the comic books, just giving it a very rosy appearance. Ambedkar becomes the nationalist leader and the epitome of an individualist in ACK. Concurrently, the category of citizenship is reinforced to the exclusion of all other categories, caste, community or gender, as his distinct and uncompromising selfhood is emphasized. Now coming to Bhimayana. Incidents in the life of Bhim Ramji Ambedkar. Bhimayana has been created by a pair of rural artists, Durgabai and Subhashvyam, who are contemporary practitioners of Pradhan Gond tribal art form. I quote, "The organic style of the Pradhan art form that hems in animate and inanimate objects as part of a living, breathing universe in its richly textured lines, a curious admixture of the scientifically precise lines of the German rotring pen, conveying the age-old tribal aesthetic sensibility through the khulla page spreads that, according to the Vyams, do not create a claustral atmosphere like the panels, gutters and boxes of westernized comic art does." So going back to the art practices, how Gond art is practiced. Gond art is, if you open Bhimayana, the pictures are drawn completely over the pages, and they are unlike the panels or the small speech boxes or in the kind of westernized comic books. So indigenous comic form art, going back to that very week where we did indigenous forms, and so the entire page in itself becomes one panel, or there is no boxes, there's no compartmentalization, there's no limitation for the sketches, and then the sketches become khulla, that is open, they are free to move, they are free to expand, and the artists are free to explore entire page. Maybe there can be one image on both the pages which the viewer is seeing in the very first instance, or there can be multiple pictures just drawn in a very haphazard manner, unlike the structural panel system as it appears in the westernized comic forms. Despite his obvious magnificence, Bhimayana makes him humane. He reacts, feels horrible and confronts abusive behavior. Unlike the hero worship that the Amar Chitrakarta is doing for Ambedkar, Bhimayana, unlike Amar Chitrakarta, is very realistic, is very humane. It tends to give out the mistakes, it tends to give out the humanity, the very emotions that are there in Ambedkar, in the sense it expresses, it kind of brings out the emotions of fear, the emotions of pain, the emotions of weak, where Ambedkar went weak and he thought that he won't be able to do it. But all these factors are projected for the common reader that it is very humane. Even Ambedkar went through these emotions. So when you are initiating a struggle, when you are launching, when you are taking up a struggle, I mean, these emotions are very humane. He was no god, he was just like one of us. So it is very humane that one goes through all sorts of emotions that Ambedkar also went through, and he was not so the deification, the graphic novel misses misses out on the deification, which the other graphic novels in the very unit, unlike the Campfire graphic novel which we saw, so the Bhimayana is not at all kind of deifying, and which is very right, because Ambedkar wanted the public to understand his struggle in the most human terms and not lose out, because he also went through the same emotion just like any other human being, rather than being deified, and then people will think that they cannot emulate, they cannot copy, or they cannot do what the icon has done. He is indignant, lacks a superhuman godhead, and resists the urge to think kindly of his captors. The pictures are visually appealing and theatrical, primarily in black with in-between splashes of color, similar to how Ambedkar cautioned his supporters against creating a cult of personality around his name and expressed disdain for subservient political culture, particularly in comparison to the cult of Gandhi. Navyana publication represents a distinct phase in Ambedkar's adaptation. The imageries of water-based imagery abounds throughout the book's first part, which addresses the right to water. For example, when the young Ambedkar is thirsty, his torso changes into a fish, and when he exhorts a throng to defend their rights, the speakers change into showers that spray water on the audience. Speech bubbles with scorpion sting-like tails are used to evoke the deadly nature of harsh or discriminatory comments. Soft-spoken words contain bird-shaped bubbles surrounding them. Brahmins and Dalits are compared to herbivores and predators respectively. Conversations on the road and train rides have a serpentine form, traveling in coiled loops with trees, grass, animals grazing, and birds lying in between, all of which are interpolated as story listeners. Now, talking about the Gond artwork, the mythic Gondi style, which enacts the stories, and the reportage, which recounts them through the facts shared amongst educated upper caste class urbanites and newspaper reports, are the two opposing storytelling styles that compete for the place in the comic. By performing an embodied horror using objects like strewn body parts, the Gondi reading of Ambedkar's autobiographical notes provide perspective. Thank you.